What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me today, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Brian Altano,
Rap,
Greg Miller.
Hey!
We have so much to talk about today. We got to talk
Including
about
what the heck happened to you?
those Assassin's Creeds. We got to talk about Majora's Mask coming to 3DS. But our lead story this week, I'm alive. I'm not dead.
Collarbone scoop.
I'm still here. Yeah, in case you missed it, I had an accident on my scooter a couple weeks ago, broke my collarbone, was out for a week, had surgery. They put a metal plate with some screws in here now. But I'm feeling pretty good. I'm on the mend.
Damon, can you still play video games?
Yep, I can just sit on my couch like this, and I hold the controller in my lap, and I've been playing a lot of Sunset Overdrive.
Great.
And Spelunky, and Guacamelee, actually.
Oh,
sweet.
Guacamelee, nice.
First time playing that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome
it's
game.
fantastic. Yeah.
Love that.
And of course, I can lay in bed and play Hearthstone on my iPad, no problem.
So basically, this has done nothing to your life.
Yeah.
It was nice. I had a lot more time to play video games than I do when I'm here in the office. So
What do you think your doctor would say? Would he be?
they probably wouldn't want me because it's all connected. You know, like I'm like
The hip bone is
I'm
connected.
like mashing the X button, and it's connected
it's
to
doing
my.
all kinds of stuff up
Yeah,
here.
it's just like the screws are just like falling apart. Like,
What have you been doing?
they're all down here now.
So do you think a big part of being a host at IGN is hand gestures, Damon?
Yeah, when you're hired, you go through an extensive hand gesture training.
We've had to turn
period.
down so many people because they're great at speaking, but they just stand there like this.
They don't know what to do with
Hands
their
in the
hands.
pockets, don't move. It's a mess.
No.
Do you feel like it's going to influence your ability to host the news?
So I've been hosting news videos with my hoodie, and I just stick my right hand in my pocket.
Ooh.
So hopefully it's not too conspicuous.
Like
Did you just give away a secret?
yeah.
That's
Well,
a game.
now
That's
they
a
know.
deep. That's a
like-
deep cut here for Game Scoop
Yeah.
fans.
that's like Bob Dole. He always had he did the thing. he
I'm
held the
pretty
pen
much like Bob Dole.
You know what you
I'm
should
very
do?
of
You
video
should
game
get-
journalism.
You should get a big shirt with a fake arm hand, and you could just rest it on the side. And you're like, hello and welcome to Game Scoop. And then the other one's there, and then we could have somebody with a string that's just like,
That's what I was going to say. We could have somebody behind him, and
Yeah.
we could weekend at Bernie's it.
Yeah.
perfect. I love
With
it.
just his arm, his dead arm.
Let's go get a
My
bank loan.
Arm's not dead. Arm's still alive. Don't try to take it away from me. Anyway, I'm happy to be back. Happy to see you guys.
Welcome back.
We're glad you're
Yeah.
okay.
We missed you.
We're all very worried.
Happy to be back here with all of you viewers and listeners. Last week was an unfortunate week for me to be out. I just felt like there was a lot of news happening. The name of the new Star Wars film, The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? This Majora's Mask news. But first, let's talk about news this week that I'm super excited about. Just Cause 3. This is something...
Applause.
Yeah,
From
it's
Greg
exciting.
Miller.
Finally, just
That's
Cause
messed
3.
up because he can't do that.
Hey Damon, remember this? You remember doing this? You idiot.
That's good.
Yeah. I can do like a polite, like,
You can do the golf clap.
That's good.
Just Cause 3.
You did a good job, but not great.
Good, not great.
I'm super excited about this. We've had a good idea that this was coming for a while. There's been lots of teases
Yep.
that developer Avalanche is working on this. Just Cause 2, one of the most fun games of last generation, maybe an underappreciated game.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It got its due. I picked it up on a Steam sale for like
Yeah, when it was
$3
like $3
or
or
something
something.
like that, and I feel like that's how a lot of people kind of discovered that game a couple years after the fact.
Ryan Clement's big fan. I remember he was the one
reviewed
preacher,
it, right?
preacher from the mountaintop, wasn't he? I don't know. I
All
don't
right.
read anything on IGN. I just talk to people.
R.I.P. in peace.
The first Just Cause was
Rest in peace.
a last gen launch game, or at least it came out in 2006. So it was very near
It's
the launch.
that old?
Yeah, the first Just Cause.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
First one, yeah. And then Just Cause 2 was like 2010, I want to
That
say.
makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense. 4 years. It takes 4 years to make these games. I put probably 100 hours into Just Cause 2, and I don't think I played any of the story, like beyond the opening missions.
Oh, so you just
like
went-
running
messed
around the
Yeah.
island. You know, the whole point is to cause destruction and damage the government property.
Just Cause Destruction.
Yeah, just cause destruction.
That's the subtitle on the new one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly what the point I was gonna make, because I didn't play nearly 100 hours of it, but probably 15 or 20, and I don't remember doing anything story related in that
No.
game. I went to some hotel and rescued a guy, and then I spent the rest of the time just flying around in a jet.
See, this is why I kind of like when a company takes a few years to work on their open world game. It's kind of nice. GTA, you get one every 5 years. Just Cause every 4 years, something like that. Assassin's Creed every month
Every
and a
6
half.
months.
Every 6 months.
Well, thank God there's a new Saints Row expansion turned into a real game every year.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that too.
I don't know. I like when these open world games are spaced out a little bit. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I know we're all going to be playing Watch Dogs 2 next year. Maybe take a few years.
Yeah.
You're not
Relax.
gonna play Watch Dogs 2 next year.
I will.
They're not putting out Watch
don't
Dogs
know
2
yet.
next year.
Yes, they will.
No way.
Yes, they will.
There will not be Watch
There
Dogs
will be Watch Dogs 2 in 2015.
All right.
You saw it here.
Okay.
You saw it
Maybe
here.
that won't be the actual title.
Nope, that was it. That's legality on this one.
It'll be like Watch Dogs camouflage or something.
That sounds actually
It's a
realistic.
good name, right?
I'm with Greg on this one.
Really?
Sorry.
There will be a Watch Dogs 2, just maybe not next year.
Yeah.
Anyway, Just Cause 2, you had your grappling hook mechanic, so that was like the unique thing that the game did. You could grapple on the ground, right? So you had your grappling hook and your parachute.
Yeah.
So you could just grapple horizontally, and that would launch you into the air with your parachute, and you could maneuver around the island that way.
That's
Which
the
makes
thing.
no sense, but it's very
It was awesome.
But
It
it
was
was
a lot of
super
fun.
fun. Yeah.
No, the physics in that game made no sense, but the less sense that they made, the more fun it was. My favorite was that if you were falling without your parachute, falling at terminal velocity, if you grappled the ground and pulled yourself towards
If
it, you'd be
you-
fine.
Hit the ground and pulled yourself into the ground, you're fine. You just had to somehow break the momentum of your fall
Yeah.
in the fantasy physics world of
That's
Just Cause 2.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right,
that's
and
awesome.
and there was a thing where like the CO2 tanks or whatever the tanks were that would explode and shoot through the air. If you grappled onto one of them, you could like go on a ride with it. It would like take
Would like
you.
take you on, yeah.
It was great.
Anyway, Game Informer had the scoop on Just Cause 3, and they have the first screenshots here, which we can take a look at. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, I know this is
Set in the Mediterranean.
this is very fancy. Here, new terrain tech allows for unique rock structures like these. So now we've got some like arched rock structures that we're going to be able
I like how
to.
you're taking us on a little tour of these screenshots.
Yep.
Ah, this is
Oh,
the
yeah.
Just Cause I know and remember.
Yeah.
That is awesome. What a beautiful moment that is. What a great screenshot. That's probably my favorite video game screenshot of the year.
And like if this were
That's awesome.
If this were a different game, I'd be like, well, come on. He obviously just like ramped it off the road
Yep.
and they
Yep.
staged the screen. But it's like, nah, man. That's just
The surfing, like the car surfing into this beautiful Italian village over here.
well, Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Medici.
They're stealing the airjacking mechanic from Wheelman.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like they're not like messing with the formula too much, which is fine, right? Because all I want to do is run around and do crazy stuff in this game. Still have the dictator statues that you can pull down. That was like a fun side mission that you can do.
Well,
in
now
Just
I've read
Cause 2.
somewhere that they're more fun than ever to destroy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I hear. Just one of the ways you can approach a base. It's kind of like Far Cry 3, where there's all these outposts that
Yeah.
you can approach the way that you want to.
Well, that's what I was gonna
neutralize
say.
them.
I did like Just Cause 2 a lot, played it a lot, but outside of that grappling and that verticality, like flying in jets and parachuting out of it, I do feel like Far Cry 3 sort of overshadowed it in that way. Like the gunplay in Far Cry was much better. You know, it actually told a relatively interesting
Yeah.
story. So I hope Just Cause 3 can sort of step up, you know, its game
Yeah.
and sort of compete with some of the sort of wacky, insane
Sure.
open world games that have come out since. Like Just Cause 2 wasn't literally the first one because there was Saints Row, but it was like one of the games that sort of kicked off like, yo man, we're gonna let you do whatever you want.
Do whatever the hell you want. Take all
And
its
Justin, you
tools.
know about these things probably better than most people at IGN, but was that one of the largest open world maps?
I was super terrified that you were gonna say that I know about these things and I would have no idea.
No, we
were gonna do we were gonna do a feature on it.
Yeah, you're very honed in on like very sort of like
Yeah. We did the day-night
weird-
cycles in
Yeah,
games.
stuff like that. Like which
Yeah,
game
yeah.
has the longest and shortest day-night cycles? Like who has the tallest characters? Like
Yeah.
biggest open worlds? And
Yeah.
I think
Just Cause 2
had one of the biggest ones.
I think
right?
so too.
Just Cause 2 has one of the biggest in-game maps of any game ever made, and they said 3 is going to be just as big, but it's going to feel denser because you can now go into subterranean caves and stuff like that, and the mountain peaks are higher. So there's more verticality.
Well, in this screenshot, we can see the fuel tank that you were talking
There you
about. But it looks like
What is going on here?
Is this cooperative play over here? Is this another
no,
player?
it's single player only. They said.
So what's this other grapple
That's
hooker
Kratos.
doing? That's Kratos.
Looks pretty clear it's Kratos.
Yeah,
Back there?
You heard it here
The white
first.
skin,
think
the
so,
red,
yeah.
the red
Yeah.
paint on them.
Yeah, it's
They're
definitely
the blades of chaos.
Kratos over there.
I totally didn't even see that screenshot before we started. I'm so glad that that's in there.
Liar.
Now, this looks like
you're
Mad
playing T-ball out there, just hitting home runs.
reminds me of Mad Max. And aren't they also making Mad Max, the game?
Yeah, they can just stop doing that.
Yeah,
on this
but
one
Avalanche
instead.
has a couple different studios, and this is their. I think their New York studio is making Just Cause, and a different team is making Mad Max.
Okay.
I believe.
Oh,
So-
but what I want to point out here is that all the guns you equip show up on your body.
Nice.
That's really cool.
right.
Oh wow, I like that.
Really?
So it's not like a Legend of Zelda thing where you've got a
just
magical
in a
bag,
bag
with
somewhere.
500 bombs.
Yeah.
And
That's like such a weird
is
thing
cool.
to harp on. I always see people seem to love in RPGs where your equipment shows up on your character. They're like,
Yeah.
you can if you put on your helmet, you can see it. I'm like, so?
It's so realistic
But it's cool.
when I fight
Yeah.
this mythical dragon.
It's just not one of the things that I care about at all.
yeah.
For RPGs like Diablo, though, it matters. You get that new helm, you put it on, you want to see how it looks different.
I just care about the stats.
I think stuff like that's kind of
You're
cool. Like
horrible.
I liked what they did.
You're
in-
horrible.
You're horrible. You're the horriblest.
Yours are both great.
I hate all of you. I think it was cool, like in Dead Space, where they had his health on the back, like little touches
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
kind of cool
Well,
to
sure.
sort of be like, oh, I wonder what weapons I'm carrying. Oh, there they are, literally right in front of me.
Yeah, the only time I would say that I've cared about it is in an MMO, because then you want to show off your
Yeah.
sparkly sword or whatever.
Believe it or not, Damon, this will be the second Wheelman reference in one Game Scoop. But for me, I never ever really thought about like weapons popping on bodies, except for when it breaks the the look of a game. And Wheelman was that where Vin Diesel is shooting an Uzi, and then he would take it and just glue it to his back and then run around. And I called that out in the review of like, that looks so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And people like, and I remember one of the comments that stuck with me was like, in GTA, you pull a rocket launcher out of your jacket. And I was like, huh,
yeah, it's literally like-
I guess you do. Yeah, this whole like bazooka thing.
I forgot how Bugs Bunny that is, by the way. Which is, or it's like, it's very much
There's a Chappelle Show sketch about that.
yeah.
About video games specifically?
Yeah, about GTA, about weapons spawning, and I think it was Chappelle.
Where he just has his hand out and it's like it cycles through 5
Yeah.
different guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where somebody would just, one of the weasels would just pull a Tommy gun out of his shirt and it was just like 6 feet long.
What was the first Wheelman reference?
Airjacking.
Oh,
They pioneered it, and then some other games took it
I
too.
thought that was what was Hot Pursuit? Not Hot Pursuit. The game where you were the cops and you would leap onto
Pursuit
cars.
Force.
Pursuit Force. Oh, Pursuit Force.
is that?
That's it. Well, it was a PlayStation 1, PSP eventually for number 2.
Like original PlayStation?
No, I
Yeah.
think it was. Where was the first one? Was it
PSP, I think, was the first one.
PSP? Okay, so it was just PSP. I remember the second one being on PSP.
Force
I
was
wasn't
great.
ready to say that it was all.
I think it was a
PSP.
PS2 game.
Oh, I don't know this
PSP.
game.
It was like the precursor to Sleeping Dogs, of leaping onto cars and like taking them down.
Well, no, Wheelman did all this.
Which is a mean thing to do.
Airjacking.
Well, I mean, you're a cop.
Well, there's nicer ways to get around town.
Anyway, I'm excited for Just Cause 3. That's coming next year. No release date yet. Two games that are out now. Their release dates just passed. Are two new Assassin's Creeds.
No.
Unity and Rogue.
Rouge is how it's pronounced.
Rouge.
Yeah,
Assassin's
I
Creed
believe it's Rouge.
Yeah.
See, there it is. You see
It's actually
Rouge color.
Ruga.
Surprised that Rogue, the last gen game, is getting better reviews.
Not surprised at all.
No.
Yeah.
I should point out, Unity is not getting terrible reviews.
Yeah.
They're both getting good reviews. Rogue's just getting better reviews.
Justin wants to argue.
I'm saying in general, most reviews are good.
Unity's Metacritic is about a 75, but
We gave it a 7.8.
we did.
Cool.
No, are any of you guys playing Unity yet?
No, but I mean, this goes to what I was saying before, right? Like,
Yeah.
take a few years.
Yep. 100%.
Take a few years
Yeah.
and be like, when we're ready. Like, this game wasn't ready. And
But to be fair, the team, it's not like it's the same team like furiously pumping out an Assassin's Creed every year. Like
Sure.
they're staggering their teams. Like I think they had 3 years to work on this one.
But I mean, so a lot of what I'm reading about this is that it's like when it really gets moving and you see a lot of things going on, it's beautiful and it's breathtaking. It's great, but there's still a lot of the same problems that the series has had for 5 years now.
I am playing Unity and I don't care for it.
You were
actually.
telling me you think it's the worst Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, sure, but the caveat is I haven't played 1 since it was new, and like 1 is not a bad game, but it was like really repetitive and the one that
Yeah.
started it all.
You never played one?
No, I just haven't played it since it came out, and so I'm not.
Oh yeah.
It's either the worst or second worst Assassin's Creed in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Well, I have. That's the thing about these games. I have a tough time going back to them. Like, I don't think I will. I mean, I played a lot of Assassin's Creed 2, but I will never play it again.
Sure,
and I
that's-
loved it at the
that's
time.
one
But like,
and done.
I'll play Wind Waker again or something like that. I feel like that game ages, or like the original Doom or Tetris or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go back and play Assassin's Creed
No.
1 or 2.
No,
There's
and I
need to.
actually would. I've been having this op-ed in my head that I want to write for a long time. That I wish more games gave you like the keys to the game after you beat it. Because like Assassin's Creed is full of, and they're huge, complex games, so I understand why. But like just hours of tutorials and like here's
Yeah.
this character and here's this character and like I would go back and play Assassin's Creed 2 if I could just see like look, don't even mess with any story stuff. Just like run around Rome, have a good time.
Yeah, I like that. You and I were talking about how games should sort of have that like DVD menu, like chapter.
like
select,
once you
like,
beat a
after
Zelda
beat
game,
it.
like I want to play the temple in Twilight Princess where you're in the snow mansion.
Awesome temple.
But I can't. It's like
15
30
hours
hours
to get
into
there.
that game,
Yeah.
and so
It's
I'm
crazy.
never gonna see that temple again.
It's crazy.
Anyway, Unity is not good in my opinion.
I was going to start it this weekend.
I'm not super sensitive to frame rates. It's not something that is on my radar. But this game looks like I notice it. It looks
Yeah.
framey to me. It runs poorly. I think the frame rate is not good, even on the Xbox One, which is actually better than the PS4 in this instance.
So what do they do with this franchise then? Because I mean,
they're going to react to sales. Remember, that was a statement from Ubisoft this year, right? Of like, the guy was like, "Hey, if people keep buying these year
Mr.
after year,
Ubisoft.
we're going to keep." Mr. Ubisoft, of course, heir to the Ubi fortune, was saying, if people have spoken, you're going to buy these every year, so we'll put them out every year.
Yeah.
So that's 2 a year.
I was excited to do these murder mysteries. I thought that sounded
The
cool.
murder mysteries are cool. So I'm not wild about the game, and I actually think I'm about half
sleeping.
oh God.
I think I'm about halfway through it, and I don't think I'm going to play anymore because I'm enjoying Dragon Age a lot more. But it does have, it's not like it's awful. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that's really good about it. The murder mysteries are super cool, and they're actually challenging. Like, what I like about them is they, like, you have to solve the puzzle. Like, it's far less handholdy than other Assassin's Creeds have been. Like, it trusts the player to have, like, a certain amount of intelligence to just being like, go here.
Yeah.
Just go here and talk to the lady. Like, you actually have to figure out who committed these murders. And when you want to... That extends even into the campaign missions. These are all side missions. In the campaign missions, like, they're really wide open to tackle them however you want. Like, you have to get into Notre Dame, and there's 12 entrances. Like, find one and work it out yourself. Like, that part's super cool, and I'm glad that they respect the player's intelligence more than previous AC games. But there's still too many problems for me to look past it.
Sure.
And this is coming. I just think 4 was so good.
Well, that's like, it's weird. Like, the Assassin's Creed franchise sees a lot of peaks and valleys, right? Like, everyone, like, people were lukewarm on 1, everybody loved 2, and then there were 2 like spin-offs that were like pretty well received.
Reminds
and
me a
then
lot of Call of Duty.
people were super hyped for Assassin's Creed 3 and then super disappointed in it.
Yes, yeah, totally.
And then we were like, oh my gosh, Assassin's Creed 4, they're doing pirates. And they were like, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
really
so good. And now the next one comes out and they're like,
Well, that was the thing is, like, if you remember for 4, like, you were at that PAX where I went to play it, where I was like, I don't care about this Assassin's Creed. And we played it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so cool. This is so different. And then looking at this, I'm like, that could easily be Rome. Like, it's not, don't get me wrong, but, like, just the setting isn't different enough for me to be like, oh, yeah, that looks awesome. Like, like, we always talk about, go do feudal Japan, go do something, like, make the games look very different and go, because, like, I did the in 5 minutes story script while you were hurt, and it was just like, first off, in the whole first part of it, I would not even know that was Assassins if you removed Pieces of Eden. And then, it just in 4 was like what you were talking about with Just Cause, where I played 4 and I did not give a rat's ass about the story. I couldn't tell you anything was happening. I just wanted to take over the map and fight his ships and do all these cool things. So if the hook is now just to continue the story, I don't care. It needs to be that it's something cool gameplay wise.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how much, since you 3 haven't played it yet, how much you know about this side of it. I wrote a short thing on IGN that even outside of all the gameplay, just sort of like Ubisoft's business decisions are like super gross. There is a treasure chest, and it's strategically placed so that you can't friggin' miss it because it's right outside like your home base.
Yeah.
Where you try to open it, and it's like, hey, to get this treasure chest, you need to download the companion app. And I'm like, this is horseshit. But I moved on. And then I went to another treasure chest, and it's like, hey, to open this treasure chest, you need to sign up for Assassin's Creed Initiates.
I hate this stuff.
Yeah.
It's the worst. And this is a game that you paid $60 for that spams you to sign up for Ubisoft services. And it's a game that's in revolutionary France, and it's immersive, and you meet Napoleon, and there's 5,000 NPCs on the screen. And then it yanks you out of the experience to try to get you to download this bullshit app.
Yeah, see, that's my
it's so gross.
That's my problem with it, even more than the sort of the shoddy business aspect of it, is just sort of yanking me out of the story and the world. Like, there's so much world building here, and to go in and like they took pictures all over Japan, all over France, and they put textures in the game, and it's amazing. They did history, and thousands of people all over the world worked on this game. And then it's just like, pull me right out, make me go on my laptop, where I'm gonna have to type in something, and in the process of doing that, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna go to Twitter and bitch about this. Because why would I ever do this?
I mean, what I did, this is actually not an exaggeration or anything. The 3rd time that happened, I couldn't open a treasure chest. I turned it off and I went back to Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need this in my life. Like, I kind of can't believe it, and it's almost like it just felt so bad. I've never seen something like that egregious and aggressive about like. Plenty of games have been like Dead Space was a famous example of like, hey, you can spend some money to get ahead. And it's like always been like hidden away in some corner. But like Assassin's Creed Unity is so in your face about it. And I find it really insulting.
Well, you said Smash Brothers. It's like if you grabbed the Pokeball or a trophy in that game and you threw it in the ground and it was like, hey, to see the contents of this Pokeball, go to Nintendo. And you're like, stop.
And it's like, you say that as a joke, but that's not an exaggeration. That's what Unity is. Like, you cannot 100% that game without having this ancillary bullshit.
I saw there was even there was a trophy joking about Resolution Gate. There's a 1080p.
Is that true?
There's a trophy that says 1080p on it. And it's just like, just let it go. Just drop it.
what about Rogue though? Rogue
Looks great. It's got it's getting better reviews.
Yeah,
Higher Metacritic.
It seems like it's more more for Black Flag.
Yeah.
It is. This isn't a value judgment, but it is a reskin of AC4. Like I don't know how much you guys have seen about Rogue, but
Well, that was the whole thing. They were super quiet about it.
Like
Yeah.
it literally has like in the modern day elements. This is a mild spoiler. In the modern day elements, you're carrying around the exact same PDA you are in AC4. Like.
Okay.
It's insane how much it looks exactly like AC4, but AC4 was awesome.
So what did they do? Did they put a bunch of snow on AC4?
Well, you're in the Pacific Northwest now.
Okay.
But you play a bad guy now, which
play
I think
as
is interesting.
you play as
one
a
of the
Templar.
Templars, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Rogue yet because I'm waiting. I have my fingers crossed that they're going to announce a PS4 and Xbox One. version.
They will.
Effing T.
They will.
Yep.
It won't be for like 3 or 4 months, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this looks like, and I mean this in a good way, not a bad way, but it looks like a glorified, huge, blown-up expansion for AC4.
Sure.
Like, you know, and it looks great. Like, I
Yeah.
watched some gameplay of it, and like, what impresses me most, it's a little bit hard to articulate. It's that little moment where you're on your ship, and it's a huge ship-to-ship battle, and then you dive into the water, and then that transition from like ship to water to being on foot and chasing a dude is like awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it feels really cool and epic, and like it just feels kind of magical.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I'm ready to dump a whole bunch of hours into a PS3 game like that this fall with so many other things like
There's a million games
fighting-
hitting every
Yeah,
Tuesday.
fighting for my attention. It's insane how many games there are right now, and I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm like, I'm just going back to Smash Brothers. It's my comfort food. Everything else is too much. It's like I want to start Far Cry, but I know that's going to be like 40 hours of my life, and I want to play the new AC, but now I hear something a little bit worrisome about it, and I'm like, maybe I'll wait.
For me, it's Smash and Fantasy Life. Like Nintendo is kind of like saving. You know, Master Chief Collection came out and it's completely screwed. Like you can't play. I've been trying to play that game every night for over a week and have never played it with another human being.
Wow.
Really?
Like
And
it's
this is the one you were the most excited for.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, it's busted, and whatever. Like it'll be fixed whenever it gets fixed, and in a month it's not going to be a problem. But for now, I've just had like the worst. I'm like, AC was really disappointing. Couldn't play Master Chief Collection. I tried playing the first level of Call of Duty, and it glitched out on me. And I'm
Cursed.
Like, I'm like, well, back to Nintendo. Like,
No games for
Speaking of
Justin.
which, we can't say much about it yet, but Captain Toad
yeah.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Oh, man.
We can't
Marty.
say much about it.
But here's a huge word that they might use on the box without my permission. Yeah, look out for that one.
What's the release date on that one? It's December, but
I think it's like the first week of December. Yeah,
sounds about right.
It's
Yeah,
just
super excited for that
Yeah,
one.
very very inventive little game. Wonderful. It's like $40 too. So
Yep.
Speaking even more about Nintendo, Majora's Mask coming to 3DS next year. We definitely get Altano's opinion because I know he's not a fan of that particular game.
I wasn't,
wrong.
but I remember on GameScoop a few years ago, you and I talked about, like, you were like, I love that game, but I hadn't played it in a while. And I was like, I didn't really like that game, but I hadn't played it in a while. And we were talking about doing a sort of like a book club type of thing,
Yeah.
where we brought it back and tried to
never-
play it again.
that never happened.
No, it never happened, obviously, because too many other games came out. But this is a good excuse to do it. And I actually really enjoyed Ocarina of Time on 3DS. I thought they did a great job with that port. I mean, a lot of things were still very old about it. There was still like the same button was to talk to people and use your sword and read a sign. So you'd walk up to a sign and you'd slash it in half
Yeah, I never
by accident.
noticed that.
Like, oh, damn it.
like in my head,
You can play a song.
in
and
my
put it back
memory,
together.
Yeah.
this is my favorite Zelda game. But I honestly haven't played it since it came
Yeah,
out.
Sure. yeah.
So it's like, all right, I want to see if
And
it's
I
actually, how does it hold up?
And I have some questions about the way this is going to work because fundamentally, as a console game with that 3-day cycle thing, I don't know how that's going to translate to a handheld in short bursts. Like,
It'll be fine. I mean, that part is. I'm not the world's biggest Majora's Mask fan either, but I don't think that part will be a problem.
I think it's going to need some tweaking. I think that like they're going to have to do some stuff with save points and stuff like that. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
I think so. Because saving in the last one in Majora's Mask was kind of weird. I mean, everything in this game is weird. They just sucked a cow in a
The trailer is so weird. That's what I
love
want.
how weird and
The
creepy it is.
trailer is incredibly weird. If you've never played this game before,
Yeah.
this was just like, what the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like nothing about this screams Legend of Zelda. Right?
And the music playing in the background of this trailer, which we can't
Oh,
hear
man,
now,
it's
is
so
it's just like it's like weird noises and these aliens show up. And
This is what I tweeted out when this was announced. Was I don't really like Majora's Mask that much, but not for any reasons to do with the game's theme or like its weirdness. I think all that's awesome, and like I want the Zelda games to get like super weird and out there again, and like feel on edge and uneasy and just kind of creepy, and that's when Zelda is super interesting to me. There's a little bit of that edge in Twilight Princess.
So what didn't you like about Majora's Mask?
The mechanics, just the time looping mechanics.
Me
I
neither.
didn't
That,
like.
that was what always stopped me because I thought the themes were really cool. I thought
Yeah.
the world was great. Like I like the idea of a weird dark Zelda that doesn't go with the continuity of the other ones because it's just so strange and out there. Like that this impending doom of the moon coming down upon.
Yeah, it's great.
Upon.
Well, wasn't this like the only, not the only, don't get me wrong, but one of them only to really have the continuity? Like you were the same Link. This was Ocarina of Time's Link.
Yeah, I mean, but there's the Zelda timeline, which is a plate of
Sure.
spaghetti.
I mean, that's what I loved about it, is that I loved
It's
Ocarina
in
of Time so
continuity,
much
but
that
I
I got
think-
to go do something different with the same characters.
I think
Yeah.
Altana was just saying it's not in Hyrule. It's
Yeah.
not
Sure.
like
That's another reason I love it. And like one of the my main gripes with where Zelda is that I feel like I hear the same story over
Yeah.
and over and
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over.
I agree.
So my problems with it really was that the actual world feels a little smaller. There's not as many temples, stuff like
Yes.
that. And I didn't like getting halfway through a temple and being like, oh
know.
shit, I'm out of
Oh,
time.
run, yeah, get out of
I gotta
here,
get the hell out of here.
That's
like
what-
to me, I want to get into a temple and it's just like I take my time and I do my own
Exactly.
thing.
I am completely with you. Like, I respect the game's vision for being like, this is stressful, and it's supposed to be stressful, kind of like in that survival horror way, where like you're supposed to feel this uneasiness and this race against time, and that's the
Yeah.
game's whole point. But for me, that goes against like what Zelda is. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to explore and experiment and try things, and like I feel like I'm punished for doing that when I play Majora's
So
Mask.
I think you make a really good point that this has been this really beloved Zelda for a really long time, and I don't know if that's like just part of what we remember it to be. But when it comes out again next year, like this will give everyone a chance to be like, "Oh, I was right," or "Oh man, I was kind of off on that one."
Yeah.
So
I'll
give it a
it comes
shot.
out and everybody who loved it is like, oh, this is terrible.
it might
What were we
happen. I mean,
thinking?
I think that happens a lot, right? Like games get re-released and we go and play them again, and I'm like,
Sure.
"Oh, well, the vision
Sonic
of that in
sucked.
my head is very different than what it actually was."
that's what I
Should have left the past in the past.
Yes.
That's what I've played. Even though Master Chief Collection has been busted, I have been playing a little bit of the campaign. And in Halo 1 and 2, you can toggle between the old graphics and the new graphics. And I started Halo 1, and I'm like, man, this game looks like this game still looks pretty good. I want to switch to the new graphics and see how much
you
better
were-
they
you
look.
were on the new
But I was already on the new graphics because in my head, like the updated new gorgeous graphics is how that game looked, and I'd switch back to the old graphics, and I'm like, oh.
Like, whoa.
Oh,
my.
dear.
It's
I've
like
made a
just like a
mistake.
gray, just like blob, and you can't even tell. Like it doesn't even look like you're on a spaceship. And like there's literally like they changed one. There's like a cork board that has things tacked to it, and in the new version they made it like a hologram that's got all this like interesting information on it. And like, but in my memories, it always looked that good.
Sure.
But
Do you miss the corkboard?
I don't miss the corkboard gate.
All right, we now have our first details on the Game of Thrones game from Telltale. Coming out next month, no release date, but coming soon, Telltale promises. It will be a 6-episode season
Which is notable.
because
That's one
Walking
more
Dead and Wolf Among Us are both 5-episode
I think
seasons.
everything's been 5.
Yeah.
Even
Jurassic
like,
Park was too.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Salmon
Back to the
Max,
Future.
Back to the
Future
in the
was,
day.
yeah.
I wonder why. That's weird.
Yeah, they just couldn't fit it all in.
Maybe.
Focus on House Forrester, who is a house that's not in the show, but apparently is in the books.
Yeah, they're canonical. They're not like major characters or anything, but they do like exist in the universe of Game of Thrones.
Their house motto is Iron from Ice. I believe they're woodworkers. Is that true? That's their craft.
They're up north, and they swear their allegiance to the Starks.
Yeah, loyal to the Starks. So we'll be visiting their stronghold, but we'll also visit familiar locations like King's Landing and the Wall.
Right.
And then what was interesting to me is that the game picks up towards the end of season 3 of the TV show and ends just before the beginning of season 5, which will air in the spring. And I imagine the game will like run right up to that if they've timed it out smartly, right?
If they're smart, yeah.
I thought that was
This is, I mean, this is a
They're
huge-
smart, but Telltale is not timely. That's the main
Well,
problem.
I was about to say the same thing.
I'm sure
yeah.
on paper that's what they're trying to hit.
Yeah.
Will they? Who knows?
Yeah.
I think this is awesome. I think you didn't mention it, but one of the most interesting things is that you play as multiple characters, like multiple members of this house, and they're in different spots. So it's sort of set up in the same way as the books, where like presumably an entire chapter will be from like one House Forrester character's point of view, then another character is on the wall, and another character is in King's Landing, and like it'll be these threads that like weave between them, but really they're each like giving you a window into like a different portion of the world and a different character, and like is this the first Telltale game where you play as a different character like each time around? Like,
in each episode.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's been times where you had played with someone else for like a moment, but it is like different than Wolf or Game of Thrones or than Walking Dead, and I think that's really interesting for that reason.
And the Walking Dead game, is it supposed to be set in the world of the TV show?
No, it's in this TV show. It's in
The comics. That's right.
universe.
Okay.
This is in the TV show, right?
Yeah, but I would.
Oh wait, is that true?
Yeah.
This is in the TV show's continuity?
That's what I was saying. So it begins at the end of season
Yes.
3. It goes up to the beginning of season 5, which is upcoming.
That I didn't know, I guess.
Yeah, this is HBO's Game of Thrones. They're doing it with HBO.
Yeah.
I have completely missed that detail. Wow, okay.
But surely there aren't going to be any major characters from the show in the game. Like, you're not going to have Jaime Lannister showing up played by some sound-alike, right? That would be
You'd
really
hope
weird.
not.
Yeah.
And you don't know what that agreement with HBO looks like,
Yeah.
right? Maybe if HBO has their contracts drawn up right, maybe they could, but I doubt that's what happens.
I would be really surprised.
Really? I mean, I totally think that they would. They'll be like, hey, like they'll be these guys that show up and then bounce.
I wouldn't be surprised if you walk into someplace, right?
Hey,
at
look,
some
it's
point,
Bran,
like,
and
the
then he's like,
Hound
whoa.
walks past
Yeah.
you or something.
Yeah,
Sure, sure.
little references like that. Yeah, I think it's a huge get. It's a really big deal. I don't think we've ever seen. If that's really the case, then I don't think we've ever seen like a video game in a really popular TV show so intertwined in that same.
What was that
way.
sci-fi show?
Besides that,
Defiance?
the one,
Defiance.
the one we can't name.
As popular as they get.
Yeah, and I like the idea of them exploring new stories in this world that don't that aren't TV episodes because that's just like every single thing they do on that show, it costs billions of dollars. So.
Right, and so it'll be interesting to see if they can reach the dramatic heights that the show reaches, because every season has like a gut-wrenching moment.
Yeah.
Right, that people
I
remember.
mean, it's Telltale.
What's that? I
It's
mean, yeah, I
Telltale.
know.
Yeah.
So
They're
it
known
was-
for their games having gut-wrenching moments.
Yeah.
I
That's
wouldn't
what
put it
excites
past
me
it.
about this is like telling stories that with deep intertwining politics and not being afraid to do super risky things with their storytelling. Like it seems like such a perfect fit for the way that Telltale is doing business these days. Like this license and this
Yeah,
brand.
it is interesting how it could weave in with the show though, because if like when we all talk about Walking Dead, we talk about decisions what we made and how they've differed, but they really only impact like the next chapters in the game. But if they had a character here that had a different outcome that is somehow now on the show with a missing arm or something, or not a missing arm, spoilers to any Telltale game, then that could be kind of worrisome. So I think they'll probably establish a new character, and then we'll all see that character play out differently.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this guarantees that, even if someone like Arya Stark does make an appearance in the game or any of the major characters, it guarantees that they can't have a major impact on the story because it's like, well, they can't die. So anything super nasty that happens will have to happen to a new character.
Yeah, I can't be like, I chopped off her head in that game. How come she's got a head on the show?
How does it work?
I still haven't beaten Walking Dead Season 2 or Wolf Among Us, actually.
Come on, Damon.
I know. What am I doing with my life?
This Hearthstone garbage is ruining you.
We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Your mother and I are going to confiscate your iPad.
Telltale's Game of Thrones begins next month. It's coming to every platform except Wii U.
Did they say next month? I thought they just said soon.
December.
Okay.
So it's coming.
You got no facts on this one.
I thought okay.
Speaking of Hearthstone, over 120 new cards coming in December.
The game's first big real expansion.
Goblins and Gnomes is what this one's called. So,
Goblin's hot.
I was going to say, I don't really care
at
about
him.
this game, but that art is wonderful.
yeah, the art's really good.
It's really, really nice.
Yep.
Justin, tell us a little bit about this. Goblins and Gnomes have a rivalry in the Warcraft universe, is that right?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Yeah.
Are they fighting over resources?
No, I mean they're both sort of kind of the silly race. Like, I mean, there's plenty of serious gnomes and serious goblins too, but they're often played as comic relief.
Gotcha.
And obviously, they're both diminutive races as well, and they're both the tinkerers. So that's why they have this kind of rivalry. Is they're both known for making mechanical constructions and experimenting with things in that way.
Gotcha.
So the 120 new cards, 120 plus new cards that are coming, they're slowly revealing them.
Yeah.
A lot of them seem to have really random
Sure.
effects.
They answered some of this in a Q&A. I saw it somewhere, like in some sort of official way, because Hearthstone one of the only things that people complain about in that game, including me, is the randomness. Like, deal 3 damage to a random character. And
Yeah.
It's like, well, like it's just the roll of the dice, whether you win or lose often, which some randomness is fine. It's fun, but I feel like Hearthstone took it a little too far. And so all these new cards they're revealing are even more random, and so people were super worried.
Do something to someone.
But yeah, I'll show
That's
what some of these
yeah,
are like.
but Blizzard confirmed that they just showed off those cards at BlizzCon, and then in the whole set, most of them are going to be not that way.
Gotcha.
They look great. I mean, the game. It's tough to keep a card game fresh like that without a steady cadence of new content. Like, you need to mix up the metagame.
Yeah, like this is one of the new cards. The
Computer, put card on screen.
The Recombobulator, his battle cry is to transform a friendly minion into a random minion with the same cost.
Right, so
And
it's
when I
like-
look at that, it's like, I don't know how I would use that strategically. Like, what would I plan for?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the new cards, I'm like, this is not tournament worthy. This isn't a card that like I can rely on, but it looks like a heck of a lot of fun.
Sure.
That was like my reaction to all of them. I'm like, this looks fun, but it's not like, they didn't seem appropriate for like super high level, like top tier play in that way. Although I'm sure those cards are in there too, but those just aren't the ones that they were previewing so far. Yeah. I like that the new cards come in a new expansion pack.
Meaning,
So you can spend, however much money, like 99 cents or 100 gold to get a pack of cards, and it'll be only cards
just the
from
new
this
cards.
set.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, because I have not quite all the old cards, but most of them. Like, I have all the commons and uncommons and almost all the rares, too. So it would take me a million years to get the new ones if I
Right.
couldn't get them in a new separate pack. So
That's smart.
I'll drop, whatever, $10 and get the new cards.
It just sounds like a lot of cards. Over 120 new ones, right? Like,
It's a lot of cards.
I mean, I think it's great.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, Hearthstone's greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. Like, the level of polish that the game has means that every single card has like a separate line of dialogue when you play the card, a separate line when it attacks, a separate line when it dies. It has an animated version that's like the foil, like the heroic version of the card. Have to have these special animations. A lot of them have like custom attacking animations, and so it's like, it's not enough for them to just like dream up a new card and put it in the game. Like, it's so much work. Like, I can't imagine, okay, we have this new card, then you have these 12 steps you have to do to get the card in the game. And so for that to be 120, like, I don't know. I hope they can keep up that pace.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll make some modifications like they had to do with Release the Hounds and Starving Buzzard.
Yeah, sure. They can nerf or buff them along the way.
Totally.
I actually disagree completely, but yes.
This has been your Hearthstone Game Scoop Corner
Yeah.
with Justin.
I hate when they nerf the recombobulators.
What about Towerfall? You guys play Towerfall?
Essentially.
We played Towerfall, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's old. I was like, what have I missed? What's
I
happening?
was like, is that
Well, let us tell you what you've missed.
It came out this year, and
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's getting an expansion.
Ooh.
That's why it's notable.
sweet?
Yeah.
New stages, new bad guys.
Yeah, new.
I love how this game looks.
So
yeah,
good.
game's amazing.
This is one of my favorite games of this year. Yeah, for sure. I haven't played as much of it as I would like to because
Is this fake?
because it's local multiplayer, and so that's the first thing that people wanted to know. And no, they're not adding any online
Yep.
multiplayer.
I guess that's
Yeah, but they are adding new characters and new stages, and some new arrow types.
interesting. Man,
Yeah.
Towerfall was so good. This is one of those games that I don't feel like got its due. Like, we gave it a positive review, but around The Office, I don't feel like it got
Really?
its due.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we played so much Nidhogg, and we're playing so much Smash now, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, I guess that's right. We only had like 2 days in the office where we played a lot of
Yeah.
this. But I feel like
That's
when I
right.
go to PAX, we were in that thing at PAX,
I was
the
going to
video
say
game Hunger Games.
Yeah, Greg and I competed in the video game Hunger Games at PAX against
right?
a bunch of other
right,
outlets,
yeah,
and we
damn right
won.
we won.
And this was one of the games we played. And
I can't remember if we won this though.
No, I don't think. I think we lost this one. But what I really like about this game is there's this like sort of last hurrah that always happens where you think
Yeah.
a character's dead and then something explodes and kills the other guy, or like an arrow flies out of nowhere. And there's different weird rules. Like some characters shoot arrows that start moving in lefts and rights and ups and downs instead of just diagonals. So you turn a corner and an arrow shoots up and stabs some guy in the neck. But yeah, I think what hurt this game is that it's only local, and that immediately constrains the amount of people that can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You need people in the same room as it. So it's a great party game, but I just don't think it's in a lot of people's vernacular of, I have 4 people over my house, what should I play?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
Mario
hold it-
Kart, Smash Brothers, Towerfall.
Like, it's a super tiny indie game,
Yeah.
so I totally understand why it's local multiplayer. Like, it's not everybody has the resources to make their game online, so I
Yeah.
don't begrudge the game for it at all. And even from a design perspective, like, it really makes sense to have the people next to you shouting.
Sure.
And
Yeah, that's
hooting
part
and
of the fun,
hollering. and latency would be an issue for a game that's like this twitchy as well.
Yep.
Man, just watching this footage makes me want to get it going.
So yeah, there's a new series of stages that you play through, and the final one is called Cataclysm, and it's a roguelike, so it's procedurally generated every time. So you'll have a sort of random match every time you play.
That's
through.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then 2 new arrow types they're adding. There's a remote mine arrow that you can detonate, and then there's a one that I forget the name of it, but it'll trap your opponent in like an orb, so they can't move for a set amount of time. Yeah, it's fun. It's good stuff.
Really good game.
Happy to play more Towerfall.
Damn right.
Before we have to say goodbye to Justin,
Right.
let's try to wrap things up. Let's bring back our new recurring segment, Superhero News. Greg, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
What do you think? This is not confirmed. This is a rumor.
Right, it's a rumor.
Playing Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie. Is that right?
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know who Harley Quinn or who Margot Robbie is, I can pull her up.
Pull her up.
She's one of the
Beep, boop, beep,
most
boop, beep, beep.
beautiful human beings in the history of our species.
What has she been in?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall
That's what
Street.
she's famous for.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. We showed the blogger image. I read the story, okay, but I had to run away before I caught where she'd been in. Now I know who she is. Yes, one of the most beautiful human beings on the planet.
in the history of our species. But why I really like her is not just because she's like gorgeous and she's funny, but she's also like very sassy in that movie. Like the way
Yeah.
she just like. There's scenes in that movie where she has complete control over Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's not just because of her stunning looks. It's because like she knows how to put her foot down and take care of this guy and really beat him around. And I like that idea of her coming on screen and being kind of menacing, because that's what I always liked about Harley Quinn, is that she's completely unpredictable and she's insane, but she is like she plays next to Joker as somebody who's a little more rational. Like you can kind of have a conversation with her, whereas Joker will just kill you. But I like that because I think she's very multidimensional. So she's a perfect character for that.
Yeah.
As for the movie, I have no hope in it.
Well,
No hope. What do you mean? Jared Leto maybe as Joker. That's awesome.
That could be really cool.
That is awesome.
I think it's
That'd be
great
amazing.
casting.
Yeah,
It's great casting.
Yeah.
what does Joker have to do? What do they have to do with the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad though?
Why not?
I mean, okay.
I mean, like, why not? I mean, you figure like Suicide Squad is similar to a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing, right? If you just talk about to the regular consumer, you present the regular cast of the Suicide Squad, that's gonna be rough. You put Joker in the trailer or whatever, that maybe he's not on the Suicide Squad. He's Harley's going out doing something for it, and they have that like run-in thing.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I just want to mention my good personal friend Ryan Scott, former IGN employee, is the guy who has made the most wiki contributions to the Suicide Squad Wikipedia page.
Really?
Did he ever do the Suicide Squad podcast he was talking to me about?
I'm sure he did.
You
or
want
he
to do
will.
one where he was going to go back and read every issue of Suicide Squad and do a podcast
Yeah.
about it.
So I mean, he's tried to explain
Suicide
it all
Pod.
to me. The Suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide
That's-
Pod. There you go.
that's
That's a
really
free
good.
one, Ryan.
You
If
can
you're
use that
watching.
one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all really cool. I just like my excitement for comic book movies is always it's very low, and
Yeah,
then I
sure.
get to be
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised when it does.
Do you think she has to do like a special voice?
That's what I'm wondering. Like at a
think so.
glance, she looks like you could dress her up as Harley Quinn and that would work. But like
The voice is a big deal.
yeah, her voice is a big deal, and just her like affectations and her mannerisms. Like she's pretty cool, calm and collected in Wolf of Wall Street. So I don't know if I haven't seen her act that over the top
Yeah.
way that
I mean, the
Harley
thing about
Quinn
it
is.
too is like, it's a different interpretation of the character.
Sure.
Like
There's also that
it's
too.
going to be
Yeah.
weird if she doesn't do that, Mr. J, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
also, like, it's a movie, and if you're trying to
Well-
suspend disbelief or whatever,
Well,
right?
I just-
Heath Ledger's Joker wasn't Cesar Romero's Joker, and we can get over that. But for this,
Yeah.
we only know one interpretation of Harley, really, because she was invented in the animated series and then has just proliferated from
Well,
there.
from the animated series to the video games have just been getting increasingly more over the top. So to see them like kind of really pull it back could be interesting if they go kind of like messed up dark with it, like they did with the Joker. That's
Yeah.
like a really good point that we all thought the Joker was this like giggling, laughing clown, and then they just went super psychotic with it.
Yeah.
So that could be cool.
Yeah.
I can't picture her doing the Mr. J.
I know, right?
It's just weird to me, but I mean, weirder things have happened.
That movie is supposed to come out in 2017, maybe.
Yeah.
Something.
the hell
I'll be
knows?
dead.
2045.
Yeah. Although someone on Twitter pointed out to the other day that we're basically now 5 years away from 2020.
Which is crazy.
How crazy is that?
When they were announcing movies and they were like 2020, I was like, that's so far. That's not that far away. Oh
I had
my
to do a
God.
thing on IGN the other day, and I had to do the math and figure out if the TV show The Wonder Years was on TV today, it would take place in 1994.
That's awesome. They should need to make that show.
You're gonna have to explain that
Yeah,
one to me.
because it's
So The Wonder Years was like 1988, and then it took place in 1968. The show was on in 88 and it took place in 68. So if the show was on in 2014, it would be 1994 would be this kid's wonder years.
Kevin, stop playing with your gat.
The 90s.
No, I won't buy you a Sega CD.
All right, now what about this? Computer, let's bring up this photo. What do we think about this, Greg?
She looks awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is Laurel from Arrow.
Yeah, I don't know, do you
She's-
watch Arrow?
She's Black. Spoilers, everybody. She's taking on the mantle of Black Canary, which we all knew would happen based on episode 1, so no big deal. But yeah, now you get there and like it's. I think she looks way more badass than her sister did in the Black Canary outfit.
She's an absolutely gorgeous actress. I don't remember her name.
Katie Cassidy. She's
gorgeous.
David Cassidy's daughter.
that
Little
true?
trivia for you.
Gorgeous. I think Laurel, her character, is just the worst.
Yeah, Laurel has
That's
had a
the-
rough go of it.
That's the actual
absolutely
thing. So have you
the
ever watched this show?
I think I've told you guys I've watched like the first 5 episodes, and everybody was like, go back and like get through the next few, and then it gets really, really good. So I will someday.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty much out of all my favorite shows are over or ending.
You start watching Supernatural like me.
Oh, I can't do that. That's
It's only 10 seasons.
yeah, that's a lot to unpack when I see something like that. But
Laurel
I'll get
takes
there.
a turn for the worse in season 2. And
Yes.
just,
Okay.
It
You
doesn't
hope
get-
this is her path to
I mean,
rebounding, though,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, but even like the way that I think I'm 1 or 2 episodes behind this season, so maybe things are already better. But like even the way that she's trying to like rebound now is just annoying and terrible. Whatever, and it's not just me; it's like my wife too. Like whatever
Yeah.
she comes on screen, my wife's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Laurel,
My girlfriend is the
you
same
suck.
way.
Yeah. She had a rough go in season 2. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here as a canary crime fighter. Getting trained by Wildcat. Why not?
She's gonna give her
Arrow
dad. She's
is-
gonna give her dad a heart attack.
I know, right? His pills. Where's his pills, Laurel?
Arrow's much better than The Flash.
Much better.
Yeah.
It's had more time. I like the Flash, though. I'm still behind. I haven't caught up my DVR. I've been traveling a lot.
Fine. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Real
listen.
quick before we
Hey,
leave
listeners.
here. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like Ish did. Ish is short for Ishmael.
Yeah. Star of Last of Us.
The Moby Dick joke.
Yeah.
And
Hey
Last of Us
guys,
joke.
I need some help. My girlfriend who lives with me does not like violent video games, especially ones with guns. She was mugged growing up.
I like how that's the route she went. She could have been a crime fighter.
She does not like me playing any games with guns, which hurts since I love Halo, Uncharted, Call of Duty, etc. I do not want to upset her, and I still play them when she's not here, which is also hard since we only have a studio apartment. That's tough for 2 people living in a studio apartment. I try to squeeze in an hour of Destiny and Call of Duty when I can, but I'm told to turn it off because she gets uncomfortable. What games do you recommend for me to play around her, excluding the obvious Nintendo games? Platform is not a problem. I have almost everything.
Going back to what Brian said about the supernatural, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
It says he says she likes Game of Thrones, vampires, and werewolves. So she's okay with fantasy stuff, not like real world gun stuff, I guess.
Oh, of course. 'Cause
But
she,
also not
I'm sorry.
Halo.
Of course, she got mugged as a child by a soldier in an exosuit who took her money with a machine gun and then sprung onto the roof.
Yep.
And a plasma pistol shooting
Yeah.
aliens, popping their shields.
I'm more concerned about this relationship.
Exactly. I was thinking the
Yep,
same thing.
Yep. When I
Wow.
hear that, it's like, well, I mean, right? Like, this is his hobby. This is something he enjoys. You know, I mean.
Like
you guys want to read this one on Super Knockin' Beats?
the GameScoop jokey answer would be like, you gotta drop her and play your violent video games. So it's like, nah, you need
Yeah.
to have like a real, honest, open dialogue with your girlfriend about like,
This is
she
what I'd
can't
like to
take
do.
away this
So,
thing that you love.
honestly-
but you also need to respect.
I wonder if this is if this is visually based or this is also sound, because that's a big problem with shooting games in general. Is that the noise they make is obnoxious to somebody not playing them.
Sure.
Like if you're playing GTA or Call of Duty, it's just sirens and screaming, exploding and yelling and guns blaring, and it's horrible. And if you're playing Captain Toad's Treasure Trackers, it's like and some guy collects a couple of gems and there's
Which is-
coins.
Now that you mentioned it, equally annoying for someone
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
If it was just Justin and I's version,
No, that's not even an exaggeration.
that's exactly how it sounds actually.
But that problem is fixed by wearing headphones.
Yeah,
well,
So
sure.
it's like-
Sure. So I was gonna say like maybe tiny stopgap. Start with that solution. Get some surround sound headphones or something. Get something to kind of encapsulate it in. But I would also
That's
like.
such a good point. That's really smart. It's like forget violent video games at all. Just you live in a studio apartment. Play games
Yeah,
with
well,
headphones.
yeah.
Into headphones.
Like-
Like,
And also, can you guys save up a little money and get like a 1-bedroom? Like where you can have at least a wall in between you while you're playing games.
if you're looking for some money, GameStop will buy Destiny for $4.
$4.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure.
not sure. Oh, I thought that was like a story I missed.
No, yeah, I think that's a start. Like, and it's also sort of like I feel like it's mindful of anybody's time when you live in a small apartment. I mean, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, but my wife and I will go in the other room and say if she's watching something on like Bravo, and every 4 minutes there's that dumb announcer, and it's like only on Bravo. I'm like, can you turn it down? Because I don't want to hear that. Like, I have triggers where I was robbed by the Bravo guy when I was 5, so it's a problem for me.
Which one?
Andy Cohen.
But if we were going to answer his question, what non-violent games would we recommend? I don't know. This year I've been playing a lot of Spelunky,
Yeah.
Hearthstone,
Mario
currently
Kart.
playing Guacamelee. Yeah, Mario Kart's a great game.
The qualifier of not the obvious Nintendo stuff makes it really challenging. Actually.
Yeah.
Lego Batman 3.
Yeah, the Lego games are great.
Yep.
I mean, they do have guns, but they're cartoon guns.
Dragon Age
Mostly
Inquisition
grappling
is
hooks.
so
If she gets,
good.
Yeah.
if she gets
Fantasy
upset
game.
about that, then she'd be like, well, see, Batman's parents got mugged, and
Yeah,
look what he
look
did
what
with
he
his
did.
life.
Get an RPG, get Skyrim, get Dragon Age.
We're living in a
You're really hung
studio.
up on not letting this girl get away with this.
Yeah. I don't like it. Spoiler alert, your relationship's not going to last, probably. It doesn't sound like she's that supportive of
Oh,
you.
ish.
Sorry, Ish.
Bad news for the
That's
Ish.
what we're the friends here to tell you. Relationship scoop.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just think you should
Give me the email.
tone down your annoying murder games. Nobody wants to hear those things.
That's pretty much what video games.
So she's not supportive of him. Like, what about him being supportive of her and saying, "Sorry, I won't cause you a panic attack"?
Well, no,
in your
actually,
own home."
like side note, Justin and I were talking about this. I think sometime last year, but I forget when we were talking about this, but it was sort of about how like the point of most video games
Is shooty.
is to murder something, right?
Yeah.
In some way, like it's
They're all
almost
conflict.
Yeah, they're all conflict. It's almost impossible unless you're talking about like puzzle games
Yeah.
to make a game where, I mean, like even in Captain Toad, like. You can throw turnips at guys and kill them, or you can walk off a ledge and stomp on somebody. Like, and it's not the point of the game. You can passively walk around everyone, but you can kill people in that game.
Well, it's because every game, like a video game by definition, has to be a challenge that you overcome.
Conflict.
And unless it's like deleting blocks and Tetris, like it does need to be some kind of conflict. Even if it's cartoony and family-friendly Disney style, like a Nintendo or GTA, they're still based all around that core
Yeah.
concept.
Here's my problem and the trigger for me. I try to squeeze in an hour of Destiny and Call of Duty when I can, but I'm told to turn it off because she gets uncomfortable. I'm told to turn it off. Oh, so you're her dog. Great. Just like I tell Portillo not to bark at the door. Like there needs to be a dialogue, and if there's not a dialogue, there's some this is the layers of the problems that are below the surface.
I totally disagree.
They don't talk to each other.
Maybe
When you're in a relationship, you're not like an individual anymore. You're part of a team.
Yeah.
Right.
You need to do what's best for the team and advance the team. And like that's how you need to think about it.
especially if the team is in an
At
apartment.
no point
the
am I
size of
saying
these
the correct
couches.
thing is to play games all the time. Fuck her. I'm saying they should each talk to each other about it.
Sure.
Not that he should be told to stop playing games, and he should feel like, well, what do? I got to write in, like, talk to her. You're upset about it. She's upset about it. Why aren't we talking?
So I had some family members over after my wedding the other day,
Yeah.
and it was like a couple days later, and like my brother and his wife were over, and we were going through the TV and trying to find something on Netflix, and it went past Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and my brother's wife was like, "Can you please change the thing?" And we're just reading the description. I'm trying to figure out if this is the Toby Hooper Texas Chainsaw Massacre or the new bullshit remake one. And she was like, "Please get that off the screen. I can't look at that." And we were like, "Okay," and we changed it. And I was like, "Oh man, that sucks." He's got to deal with something like that a lot because she just doesn't. She's an aversion to horror movies, but he shouldn't divorce her because of that.
But
it was just something that.
But if he was in love with horror movies and he had to try to fit them into these small windows or whatever, he would have a conversation about it.
Well, no,
wouldn't
then he would have to watch them an hour at a time.
What a way to live.
Anyway, Ish, we hope you can resolve your problem, figure out a way to,
Write in and let us know.
let us know how it's going.
In a year, write us in. Let us know.
6 months maybe.
Yeah.
See if the relationship is still going. I don't know, if you're in like close quarters like that, a handheld device is a good gaming solution, right?
Yeah.
3DS, Vita, an iPad. That way it's just you. It's
That's
just
actually
you
a great
in the
point.
game, right?
Use remote play. Get a Vita.
Yeah.
Get headphones. Get a Vita. Play Call of Duty all night long. Let her change the input to whatever else she wants to watch.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Starring Andy Cohen.
You know what's surprisingly
Robert.
good? I don't think this is on Bravo. Maybe it is on Bravo. MasterChef Junior.
Yeah. Big
It's
fan.
so good.
Isn't that Fox? I think it's Fox.
these kids are like 8 years old,
They're
and they
amazing.
make these incredible dishes.
They cook better than people I
It
know.
makes you
who
feel like
are
such a complete
adults.
failure.
Yeah.
You're just like, I cannot do anything remotely that cool.
I mean, I cook a lot, and I watch that show, and I'm like, well, I should just quit
Yeah.
because this child is running circles around me.
Master Chef Junior. It's really good.
Scoop from David Hatfield.
All right, I think that's all the scoops we have for you this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Greg. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.